today we're going to be doing a little unfinished sketchbook tour, and I say little, but I seem to have quite a lot of unfinished sketchbooks, so let's just get right into it. I just started with some watercolor abstracts. I think this is Cascade Green. It's my favorite green from their collection. I skipped a page by accident. First page is a study of a photo that my friend posted on her Instagram story. She takes really good pictures. I didn't end up finishing this, but I kind of like how these branches turned out. And this one, it's a study from my local park. So I took a picture of these flowers. I didn't know, but they're actually snowflakes instead of snowdrops, which is what I initially thought they were, because they have these little green dots on their petals. I just think it's so cool how you have all these different things in nature. And yeah, that was actually my first drawing in the sketchbook, but I like to do things not in order. Makes it less scary. Gonna adjust the camera a bit. So this sketchbook spread is just from my parents' garden. This is our apple tree, and this brown I used a handmade watercolor from Octarine Aquarelle. It's got this texture to it. It looks really nice. And yeah, this green is also handmade watercolor by Zoyaboo on Etsy. It's really nice. I've used it in my other videos as well. I drew these irises. I was trying to get like the different stages of it blooming, so the middle one was going to be slightly opened, but they just bloomed straight away overnight and didn't get to see that middle stage. This part is a corner of our garden. It's like a bathtub pond thing. It doesn't really have running water in. We've got these decorations, this little fairy statue. There was this bluebell plant right next to it. I thought it looked really nice. Again, it's from the garden. I think it was May, because that's tulip season. All the tulips come out. It's also exam season, which sucks for me, but I think this was after my exams. This is a tree, and it's very unfinished. I think I'll probably add some stuff to this page, but not sure yet. This one, I think I was trying to loosen up a bit. I was tracing the shadows of this crab apple blossom branch, and it was just in the pot like that, and then the shadow went across the book on the table, and I just traced it. It's quite fun to draw, and I like how these swirlies turned out. Oh, these are studies from the Horniman Museum. Don't ask me why it's called that. It's just the guy's surname, so it was named after him. He was like a really big collector of things. I saw this post box as well, and it was this really nice sage green color, but I couldn't mix it with my watercolors, so I just left it blank for now. This page, my first Paris video, when we went to the Rodin Museum, I think, and that's one of the statues or the little clay figurines that he made. And then these are the Zoyaboo watercolors, which I showed in my watercolor haul. I think I showed all of them apart from this one, but they're just gorgeous. And this one is my first painting that I did on this channel, actually, I think. I used the Choosing Keeping Japanese watercolor set. Yeah, I really like how it turned out, even though I made a mistake. But if you watched the video I did on Choosing Keeping, you'll know that I made a mistake when I tried to write this. I was trying to do something like, writing the Latin name of the flower in the box, kind of like a label, but I spelt it completely wrong. And then I ran out of space. A lot of you suggested to cover it up in gouache or something like that. In the end, I just wrote more gibberish text, so hopefully that distracts from the spelling mistake that I made. I think it came out okay. I really like how this paint cauliflowers. I know people don't usually like that, but I think it adds a nice effect to this painting. This page looks kind of moldy, but I was just testing out the Roman Schmoll colours that I got. So this is Misty Morning, and this is Aquarius Green, but this is another sketch from the Rodin Museum. Yeah, I might paint over it in gouache or something, but just left it blank for now. This one, I just want to rip this page out. I like this part, but I'm not too happy with her face and how her violet hat looks like an aubergine or eggplant emoji. So I really can't unsee that. I think it's maybe the proportions as well. Yeah, for those two videos I did do sketches, so this was my draft. I did a draft for the other fairy as well. She came out way better than her draft. But this one, Bye. I actually had another idea for that video because I was just testing out these colours that I got. So these are the 4 colours that I got from Roman Szmul. It's Misty Morning, Chorus Green, Mineral Violet and Ocean Blue. And I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna draw like some sort of flower fairy with like a frame and everything. But I ended up going with a similar theme to my other flower fairy. Oh well, she looks okay, I guess. It's not too bad. I tried to do some plein air painting when I was in Turkey recently, and yeah, as you can see, it didn't really go to plan. So that's my Etcher sketchbook, which I'm really enjoying so far. What else should I go through? I guess this sketchbook that I just showed. It's the Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook. I don't know if I received a faulty copy, but sometimes when I paint on the pages, the ink sort of repels itself. Sorry, the paint repels itself. So I haven't really used it much, but this was my first page. It actually went viral on TikTok, which I was not expecting. But it was like a really close-up version because when you see the whole thing, I made so many mistakes. Actually, I think it looks all right, apart from this blob thing. I really like how her expression turned out. And it was quite fun to put all the highlights and stuff in. I like that one. I was debating on showing like the really crappy pages, but yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna show all the bad pages anyway. The proportions came out extremely just wrong. I'm not sure if it's the mouth or both the mouth and the nose. I think it's both of them that needs to be shifted upwards a bit. I quite like the colours. I like this gold watercolour, it's quite nice. I just did a doodle of this orchid plant, and this I moved to my other sketchbook. Oh, that's a draft thing from before. But yeah, I'll show this painting. It's from my 2020 sketchbook. So this is the sketch that I was trying to do in my other sketchbook. This one is from Stillman and Byrne, the Zeta series, which I really love for ink. Actually, I designed these little frog stickers during the beginning of the pandemic. Seems like such a long time ago now. Oh, in this sketchbook, I did some planning of what I would put in my watercolor palette, which I think I would change now if I was redoing it. This is the Himi gouache set. And this one, I did some sketches from Pinterest. I quite like how the blue and red pencil layer over each other. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold, hope you don't mind. Just doodling, and I got some nice washi tapes. I always write down Inktober prompts, but I never end up doing them. Yeah. I think this is marker, and I gave up. I've just been using it to write random doodles. This is another Pinterest study. I used a White Nights watercolor, which I really like. This is a draft for a bigger painting, which I'll show you. Okay, so this is sort of, I'm starting to use it as like an idea dump sketchbook. So this is actually my channel profile picture. I've been wanting to do a Chinese mythology series. So this is an idea I have for Chang'e, the Chinese moon goddess. So in her story, she ends up drinking this immortality potion, which causes her to like fly away to the moon and become the moon goddess. Quite inspired by Alphonse Mucha's work, where he has like all these ladies and then there's like a circle motif behind them with lots of patterns. I was just trying to test out some face ideas, but this one, she looks way too, I think, young because of the proportions. And then here, I don't know why, when I try to draw things stylized, it comes out really anime-like, which is not quite what I'm going for. I wanted more of an illustrative fairy tale style. I quite like this, apart from her legs look a bit funny, so I would do the final thing in watercolor. And I was testing out these markers I got from my brother actually, but I ended up using them. So this page, I wish I didn't color it in with this red, it's so harsh, very like McDonald's colors. But this is the Chinese sun goddess. So she gave birth to 10 suns in the form of sun crows basically, and every morning one of the crows would go out and that would be like the sun rising and setting, blah blah blah. I would also do that in watercolor. Yeah, I'm just getting the ideas down. I do want her to look less anime, but I don't know how to achieve it. I think maybe it's the eye proportions. So that's the sun goddess draft, and then I've done more scribbles here. So Oh no, I hit the tripod by accident. This one here is the goddess of the underworld, and she makes this soup or potion. When people drink it, all their memories are erased from their past life, so it's like you're reincarnated as a new person. I've done a sketch in Procreate as well, I'll just show it on here. And then this one is the Chinese goddess of the sea. This one here is goddess of lightning or thunder. And yeah, I've just got some ideas jotted down. This one, again, it's based on Chinese mythology. So it's mermaids, basically. When they cry, their tears turn into pearls. And they also spend their days weaving sea silk. So that's the final painting. It's more anime than I wanted it to be, so I'm definitely redoing this one. I've sort of abandoned it. I like it overall how it turned out, but there's a lot of things that I would change. I didn't realise that colours would turn out so differently on different paper. I tested it on this Fabriano Artistico hot press paper, which is supposed to be really good. It was quite expensive. Ignore the green, that's something else. The purple looks so chalky. And then this is on cheaper paper, but the same purple comes out like this. I don't know, maybe I just got a bad batch of Fabriano. I don't know if that's how hot press is supposed to act, but it just makes it look so chalky. And then this one, like, look how nice the watercolour looks. So vibrant. So that's the draft for that. And this sketchbook is really nice, the inking. It just glides on the paper. I definitely need to do more of that. This one is another draft. It's the Butterfly Lovers, which is also Chinese folklore, I guess. I want to do a painting on that as well. This is using my Magello paints, and this is on Archer's paper. It's quite nice. These are some Archer practices. This one is just scribbles. I quite liked this pose I saw. And I got this new graphite pencil, which is really therapeutic. I'll go through my other watercolour sketchbooks. So these are my watercolour sketchbooks. Let's just start with the smallest one. I got it from Etsy, and it's Saunders hot press watercolour paper. It's really nice to just sketch a little buttercup. And these, I think they're cherry blossoms, but I'm not sure. They're white coloured petals. And then I have no idea, but there's a lot of these in our garden. I love this sketchbook. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's like deckled edges again, just so nice. This is a bit scary. It looks a bit moldy, but just playing around with some soft pastels that I got, which actually I really like using these with watercolor. I'll show this piece. I've used soft pastel over the watercolor. Quite like that. I think soft pastel looks really nice on top of watercolor, so I'm definitely gonna experiment with that more. And this is Roman Schmuel Aquarius Green. It's just lovely. It's like a mossy green, but you can get so many different tones out of it. And this is my favorite pencil at the moment. It's the Tombow calligraphy pencil, something like that. This is the 6B compared to the Faber-Castell 14B. I mean, it's just so soft, but it's a bit annoying. You have to sharpen it a lot. Oh, I was just doodling. Yeah, this is the Tombow Mono Kohitsu Shosha pencil. It was in my choosing keeping video, and it's so soft. It's supposed to mimic a calligraphy pen. You need to sharpen it a lot, that's the downside. That's my mini pocket sketchbook. Actually, I want to show how it fits perfectly in my pencil case. It's like this. It's so satisfying. Okay, anyway, sorry. This is one of my favorite sketchbooks. I'm not really using it as a sketchbook, more as a swatch book, but this is handmade in France by Moments Sketchbooks. Anything with gold detailing I just really love. I was just swatching Paul Rubens. Oh wait, no, I have done some sketches. I'm just drawing like traditional Chinese clothing. I really like this red. I think it's called Anthraconoid or something, like Anthraconoid red. I think I just made that up, but vaguely that's what the name is, from Daniel Smith. I used a gold pen, which keeps exploding, but it gives a nice effect. This is a study. I'm really liking the gold and red combination. And this one, haven't added gold yet, but yeah, I love this red color. I really love this one. This one's my favorite. And then this is from Eresius Handmade Paints. These colours are so beautiful. So I really like the landscape layout. Makes it really nice to do swatches in. That's Daniel Smith and more of Eresius. And then this one is from the Japanese watercolour set. I was just testing out some colour mixes. But yeah, these are from the Gansai set as well. These are swatches of handmade paints from Octarine Aquarelle. They're quite opaque for watercolours. I really like these blues. I don't know why I skipped so many pages. These are from Tiny Clouds, and her indigo is really nice. Quite like this orange. I don't usually like neon colours, but it's quite nice. I really like this one. These two are both from White Pigeon Bindery. I got them when I was in sixth form, so maybe 2016 or something. So this is a smaller one. This is Daniel Smith Essentials set, and it just comes with these 6 colours. But with those colours you can mix all the colours basically. Maybe not brown. Actually no, I'm sure I could mix it somehow. And that's just a giveaway that I won. This is a Ghibli study. I used Himi gouache, which I managed to get from AliExpress for £11. It was really fun to paint this. I didn't end up finishing it, but if you look at this corner, that looks kind of finished. I was kind of surprised. I liked gouache more than I thought I would. I might get like a full set from somewhere, but I don't really know which brand is good, so I'm just using my Himi gouache set for now. If anyone's got any recommendations, please let me know. I've been looking at Holbein, but I'm not sure. This is a landscape study from a photo that I did not finish yet again. This is Daniel Smith swatches and some Holbein as well. Oh, Magello, it's so bright. If you want something more predictable, then Magello paints are a good shout. This is my favourite shimmer watercolour. It's really pretty. And this is Magello again. Oh, this is from Tiny Clouds. I think I'm trying to get my fountain pen to work in that page. And these are from Eresius Paints again. I like colour swatching because it's less scary than actual painting. But yeah. This is for the Chinese Lantern Festival. Some still life studies. My mum has a lot of orchid plants in the house, and this is our garden. I left it unfinished, but I kind of like how it looks. And these are just some Pinterest studies. I think this was at the start of Inktober, but I have yet to try any challenges or anything. Oh, this was supposed to be in here. So I think I was going to do some watercolor studies, but this guy came out really weird. I don't know, there's just something about his proportions that makes him look like a fish. I don't know, I covered it with this. It's a ticket to the Alphonse Mucha Museum in Prague. I didn't go, but my parents went and my dad saved the ticket, so now she is covering my mistakes. This one is an actual fish. And these are some landscape studies. I was trying to get out of my comfort zone a bit. Quite proud of how this one turned out because I didn't think I'd be able to draw it that well. I struggle with mixing greens quite a lot, so it doesn't look like the photo, but it looks like something, so I'm happy with that. These are more unfinished studies, so I think I used gouache here. This is another Ghibli study. I can't remember what movie this is from. With gouache, I just like that you can paint over your mistakes. It makes it slightly less intimidating compared to watercolor. This is fountain pen. We went on a spa break to celebrate graduation. I just drew the rim, but fountain pen doesn't do really well on this cold press. It just catches on the paper a bit and ended up exploding. Oh, I love this gold. It's the FinTech Pearl color gold. It's so shiny. I like how it shines, whereas this Posca pen, it doesn't really shine even though it's a gold color. So I definitely prefer the paint. And this is in watercolors. I was just doodling after my exam. This is walnut ink. I was just prepping these pages for gouache painting. I've seen an artist on Instagram do this, and I really like how her sketches turned out. But those are all of my watercolor sketchbooks at the moment. I was just playing around with some abstract watercolors. I really like this one. It's a really nice way to break in your new watercolors. This one reminds me of like Sugar Plum Fairy. And now I just have my normal sketchbooks. I think I just need to stick to one and like finish it because this is getting out of hand. But this is from Charvin, which I bought in my first Paris vlog on this channel. And I've just been sketching in it on holiday. So this is from my first Paris vlog. We went to the Rodin Museum and this is the Kiss. I just sketched it on the Eurostar home. This isn't watercolor paper, it's only 120 GSM. I tried watercolor in it, but it comes out like this. It makes it look moldy. I have said moldy a lot in this video, but that's what it looks like. So yeah, my sketchbook is not moldy, it's just the paint coming through. Oh, and this is a postcard from the Sennelier shop, oldest art shop in Paris, which I posted on my channel. And then this one is from my last Paris vlog. We were in Jardin du Luxembourg and sketched this statue. This is from the Pantheon, and then this is from the Medici fountain. I really like how that page turned out. This is a sketch from Paris as well. It was on the Eurostar on the way home. I was testing out watercolors. It looks very moldy. I won't be using watercolor again in this sketchbook. I'm sketching in Turkey. From the balcony we could see these little beach huts. So I really like this sketchbook because it's quite small and thin. So it doesn't feel intimidating when I'm trying to use it. I feel like I can finish this one soon actually, for once. This is another sketchbook I got in Paris. This is from the Rodin Museum. I don't like how my fingerprints will show up. But anyway, this is from my first Paris vlog. I did some sketching in Rodin Gardens. And then this, oh, I really enjoyed doing this. This is the Rodin Museum. I really like fountain pen for anything structural, like a building, quite fun to draw. And then did some pencil sketches. That was a really fun day actually. I packed this sketchbook away and then I forgot about it. Otherwise I would have brought it with me to my other Paris trip. And then I've got this Fabriano Classic Artist Journal, which is massive. I don't know if I'll ever finish that. I mean, it's very scary. It's got these cream pages and these white pages. I think ink looks quite nice on it. I haven't really done much in here, just random sketches. I've been getting into crochet and trying to teach myself how to knit recently. I've just done some sketches. This was a top I saw in Zara and this was a sketch design I came up with. I'm currently making this top and it's like a mermaid inspired top. I don't know where I would ever wear these, but it's just fun to make things. So, and then this is the oldest sketchbook that I still currently draw in. I designed these stickers, these three, in Procreate, and I was selling them at the beginning of the pandemic. It was quite fun. So yeah, this sketchbook I started in 2019. It's the Daler Rowney 150 GSM. I quite like it, but it's not great for fountain pen because the paper is slightly textured, but it's great for everything else. This is an art print my mum got for me. This is from a mini sketchbook from Jackson's. I quite like it. I made a start on the 100 Heads challenge. Pinterest studies. I really like how her eyes turned out, but her upper lip, like this thing between her lips and her nose, is a bit long. And that's Kill Bill's green caps. I was going to colour in, but this is in colour pencil, but I used oil pastels on top. The colours kind of remind me of Starry Night. Some figure studies. I like them, but they're very stiff. And then here, I feel like you can see when I put effort in, I can get it to look like what I want it to, but then when I do very quick sketches, like that's what the hand looks like. It looks a bit demented here. I'm very slow at drawing. So this is just me sitting on my bed and I did a sketch of that. I was sitting under my apple tree and trying to do a still life in acrylic. It was really hot that day. I primed the page with gesso before I painted on it. Not that experienced in acrylic. I got a fountain pen. It's really fun to sketch with. And I saw people drawing shapes with their markers and then like creating people, characters out of them. I tried doing that there. And this page, this is from a choreography video and I just drew different frames. I was rewatching Baby Driver. I really like the soundtrack for that movie. I'm just experimenting with the fountain pen, which is really fun for sketching. I think this was an accident, but I really like how it looks. And I did a little dewdrop. This page, Pinterest study in colour pencil, in ink again. This is a Vampire Weekend album cover. Yeah, this is just the laundry basket outside of my room. I think this is probably my favourite page. I just drew a bunch of different ones together. I think it looks quite nice. And this is the first time I drew feet, so came out okay. But I think I was watching this spy movie, I can't remember what it's called. And there was this Italian song in the background when they were in the car. And I really liked it, so I just wrote the lyrics in there. This is from an Instagram. I really like how the house turned out. It's just a view of our house from the garden bench, and I was just sketching it. I think it looks way nicer when you just do it freehand, and the wobbly lines just give it a bit of character. I actually really like drawing buildings. This is from my mum. I think it was a birthday card. Just stuck it in my sketchbook. I think this is Emma Stone, and that's just a random man. Well, these are some ink studies. When I see words in my sketchbook, I end up cringing a lot when I look back on them. But at the same time, I don't want to stop writing in my sketchbooks because it is like a mini diary. That was horrible. I don't know why his legs are different sizes. This was my first time at a life drawing class. It was at uni, so it was a free taster session. I quite like the pastels. Oh, and this is the pastels again. It was fun. I remember I did this in the garden. It was a really sunny day. I like looking through old sketchbooks and then remembering what life was like at the time or how you were feeling at the time. Oh, I was feeling quite depressed at this time on this page. Yeah, I wrote it down too. Feeling conflicted and confused. And that's my shoe, my wallpaper from uni. Oh, this is from an old sketchbook. It's Study of the Statue of David. And then these are some more Pinterest studies, I think. I like this eye. I don't really know what happened. Yeah, okay. This was just before the first COVID lockdown. So this is February 2020 and then this jumps to March 21. So I just stopped drawing somehow, which is kind of sad, but I'm glad I picked it up again. So these are some figure drawing sketches again. I really wanted to finish at least one sketchbook, so I'm trying to get this one done, but I'm still only halfway. This one I was testing out some marker pens. I think it's the Zig Brushables from Kuretake or something like that. Another Pinterest study. All the past was transferred to the other page. It looks kind of cool, I think. This page is my first attempt with water mixable oils. I really like how this flower turned out. It's kind of cartoony, but I like it. I accidentally smudged the whole thing with my sleeve. I wasn't really used to such a slow drying time with oils, so this was a colour study, and this was a photo study. I quite like the concept of it. This page, I think I must have ripped it out of this sketchbook and stuck it back. Yeah, this is the page. And some more sketches here and there. And then this page, I got a blending stump. I love my blending stump. I'm going to stop smudging things now. This was my first life drawing session outside of uni. It was actually over Zoom. There might have been some restrictions, I'm not sure, but it's really fun. These were the longer poses, but with the longer poses, I'm getting a bit stiffer. I really like this one. I used a mechanical pencil. It's quite thin. I think maybe it's like 0.3 millimeters. And then I used Daniel Smith's Moon Glow to paint the background. This one's another Pinterest study. I quite like adding color to the page. So even if you have only a couple of drawings, if you add the background color, it's somehow nicer to look at. Oh, this is probably my favorite page. This is from another life drawing session on Zoom. The green ones, I think they're 1 minute poses. And then these two are 2 minute poses, I think. Maybe they're my favorite. Then it gets longer, so maybe they're like 5 or 7 minutes. And then finally 10 or 15 minutes. I felt like I really learned a lot, even though they didn't really teach you to do anything. They just kind of let you sit and draw. I think having a live model as opposed to a still photo is really different. And then it's all downhill from there. This one's a little sketch that I did. I really like these mechanical pencils because you don't really have to sharpen them. I have maybe half the sketchbook to go. Probably document it on this channel.